Chapter 6. Elite Tier 2 Demonic Beast. Instant Kill. Leaving the entrance, he and Lazuli passed through a blue light gate, and the scene before them suddenly changed. At this moment, they stood in a vast forest. The sky was a dull gray, surrounded by mist, cold and desolate. Although all students entered this same sanctum, as long as they didn't enter simultaneously, they would be randomly assigned to a certain part of this space. Aster Grant took out a timer and set it for 4 hours. The novice trial space has a 4-hour time limit, and once the time hits 0, they will be transported out. Time is tight and tasks are heavy. They must find a demonic beast and kill it as quickly as possible to rapidly level up Lazuli. At this moment, Lazuli's wings spread out, hovering in the air, her small face full of seriousness, entirely different from her usual unreliable self. "Master, don't worry. With me here, you definitely won't have any problems." During the awakening stage, beast tamers are essentially no different from ordinary people. In this space, a single careless mistake could cost them their life. This situation only eases once they reach the extraordinary realm. At that time, the physical qualities of a beast tamer will greatly increase, allowing them to form a contract with a second guardian beast. Additionally, when beast tamers break through to the extraordinary realm, they will awaken their unique talent ability. This is the key to truly distinguishing between the strong and the weak. For this reason, the extraordinary realm is recognized as the most crucial watershed on the path of a beast tamer's cultivation. A powerful talent can often allow a talentless beast tamer to undergo a stunning transformation. Unfortunately, this path of cultivation is far more cruel than imagined, with too many beast tamers stuck in the awakening realm for life. At that moment, a sudden snapping branch sound came from deep within the mist. "Master, be careful! A magical preacher is coming!" Lazuli's wings suddenly spread wide, and she swiftly moved to stand in front of Aster Grant. As the mist gradually cleared, a demonic beast appeared, standing at 2 meters tall, with the shape of a demonic bone bull, but entirely pitch black, its bestial eyes the size of copper bells, glinting with bloodthirsty red light. Demonic bone bull, demonic. Talent, Elite 1 star. Level, Tier 2. Power, 22. Constitution, 21. Spiritual, 11. Speed, 17. Skills, Wild Bull Charge. Seeing the attributes of the demonic bone bull, Aster Grant's brow furrowed tightly. Encountering an elite Tier 2 demonic beast right upon entering the novice trial space, this luck was really not great. For an ordinary civilian team of 5, this was almost a disaster. But with Lazuli's legendary-level beast's formidable combat strength, taking down this demonic beast shouldn't be a problem. "Lazuli, leave it to me, master." The young girl's eyes ignited with fierce battle intent, and although her slim form was petite, she exuded an astonishing aura. She had been waiting too long for this moment. "Judgment!" With a crisp shout, dazzling golden flames rose from Lazuli's palm, instantly condensing into a giant 2-handed sword, burning with holy flame. This is the inherent combat instinct of the angel race, an inheritance engraved in their bloodline. The demonic bone bull was enraged by the sudden show of imposing force. Its sturdy hooves pawed the ground, nostrils flaring white mist, its copper bell-like eyes glaring fixedly at the little Tier 0 figure. Moo! Accompanied by a deafening roar, the demonic bone bull launched its signature skill, Wild Bull Charge, charging forward like an uncontrolled war chariot. Yet Lazuli remained completely still until the bull charged right up. Swish! A perfect golden arc sliced through the mist. Time seemed to freeze in that moment. The demonic bone bull maintained its charging posture, yet crashed to the ground behind Lazuli, its massive body split perfectly in two. The judgment skill, which increases damage against Demon Clan creatures, combined with a legendary-level beast's formidable combat strength, allowed this battle to be decided in the blink of an eye. Following that, a bright azure glow rose from the demonic bone bull's corpse, merging into Lazuli's brow. Seeing this, Aster Grant immediately checked Lazuli's information. Divine Angel, Lazuli. Talent, Legendary, 1 star. Level, Tier 1. Power, 35. Constitution, 35. Spiritual, 34. Speed, 37. Skills, Judgment. Increased damage against Demon Clan creatures. Divine Protection. Immune to 1 fatal attack. Blazing Angel Form. Increases all attributes by 200%. Song of the End. Puts the angel into a dormant state after use. Cultivation suggestions: Light Crystal, Holy Spirit Liquid, Angel's Sacred Blood. Just by killing 1 Tier 2 demonic bone bull, Lazuli directly broke through to Tier 1. Simultaneously, Aster Grant felt a buzz in his mind. His spiritual power surged like a tide, and his 5 senses instantly became incredibly sharp. The Guardian Beast level determines the Beast Tamer's level. At this moment, his level rose to Awakening Tier 1. He then focused on Lazuli's attributes. Only now did he realize how terrifying a legendary talent beast can be. Lazuli, who just broke through to Tier 1, had completely crushed the demonic bone bull in all attributes. What is even more frightening is that this gap will expand geometrically as her level increases. Master. Hearing her voice, Aster Grant looked up, only to see Lazuli standing dazed by the demonic bone bull's corpse, her slender fingers slightly trembling. When she turned around, crystal tears were rolling down her cheeks. "Did you see?" Her voice was choked, but carried unprecedented brilliance. "I'm really not worthless." Aster Grant could understand Lazuli's feelings at this moment. For the past year, she lived under others' ridicule, and now she finally tore apart all doubts with her strength. He quickly stepped forward and gently embraced this petite figure. "You were never worthless. You are an angel soaring through the heavens." Lazuli buried her face deeply in her master's chest, her slender fingers tightly grasping his clothes. The accumulated grievance and reluctance now turned into scorching tears soaking through Aster Grant's clothes. Time seemed to slow down at this moment. When Lazuli finally looked up, the crystal trails of tears had not yet dried, but the confusion and timidity in her eyes had vanished, replaced instead with a steely determination akin to tempered steel. At this moment, the once timid girl had truly transformed. "Master, I'm okay now." Lazuli wiped the tear stands from the corners of her eyes. "Let's hurry and level up." Aster Grant nodded. Given Lazuli's current strength, ordinary Tier 3 demonic beasts are no match for her. Even Tier 4 demonic beasts pose only a slight threat. When she reaches Tier 2, even some Tier 5 demonic beasts will no longer be able to contend with her. Thus, at this moment, it is not the power of the demonic beasts that limits their leveling speed, but rather how quickly and accurately locate demonic beast tracks in this fog-covered trial space. The entire novice trial space spans tens of square kilometers, with demonic beasts evenly distributed. What's more daunting is that those high-tier demonic beasts, which provide rich experience, are incredibly scarce.
Chapter 7. Blazing Angel Form Unleashed. At the same time, in the monitoring room of the trial space, Felix Hoffman was staring intently at the central luminous screen, his brows furrowing tighter and tighter. The screen was displaying real-time data of all the trialists' points, as well as the system's potential rating calculated based on those points. Is this the level of students from Lithos this year? He shook his head in disappointment. Aside from Mason Cheney barely reaching A level, the others don't even make it to B level. Just as he was about to look away, his peripheral vision suddenly caught an anomaly in the data. Aster Grant. The points behind this name were skyrocketing at an almost terrifying speed. 200, 500, 2,000. Finally, under the watchful eyes of everyone, it broke through the 5,000 mark. This! Felix Hoffman's pupils contracted sharply. It's crucial to know that other students only managed a few hundred points at most. Even Mason Cheney had just barely over 2,000. Yet this obscure student's points had reached 5,000. How is this possible? Felix stood up abruptly, slamming the table. Why are his points increasing at such a terrifying speed? The staff member beside him cautiously suggested, could it be a fluke? If he happened to be nearby when two beast herds were fighting each other? Obviously, this explanation didn't convince Felix. Ridiculous! Felix directly interrupted harshly. Get me Aster Grant's file. The staff member dared not delay and immediately fetched Aster Grant's file, handing it to Felix. After examining the file, Felix's frown deepened. How could Aster Grant, having contracted a beast bond deemed as crippled, achieve such astonishing results? But the next moment, as if he thought of something, his pupils contracted again. Could it be that angelic tamed beast has recovered? Back when this angel-type tamed beast appeared, it caused a massive stir in Lithos. Felix had naturally heard of it, but after hearing about its unupgradable defect, he no longer paid attention. And now, the terrifying potential Aster Grant displayed was clearly related to this tamed beast. This beast bond, once judged as crippled, is very likely entirely restored. On the screen, Aster Grant's points continued to climb. The potential rating column had already jumped to S level. Felix's hand began to tremble involuntarily. A genius at this level had already exceeded his decision-making authority. Quick, he turned around and sternly ordered his assistant, inform the city lord immediately. Divine Angel, Lazuli. Talent, Legendary 1 star. Level, Awakening Tier 3. Power, 98. Constitution, 96. Spiritual, 94. Speed, 107. Skills. Judgment. Increases damage to Demon Clan creatures. Divine Protection. Immune to 1 fatal attack. Blazing Angel Form. All attributes increase by 200%. Song of the End. Angel enters dormancy after use. After 3 hours of upgrading, Lazuli's level successfully reached Awakening Tier 3, infinitely close to Awakening Tier 4. And Lazuli's various attributes were almost 3 times those of ordinary Tier 3 tamed beasts. By her side, golden arcs flashed, and several elite Tier 3 demonic beasts besieging Lazuli were also split in half. The next moment, Aster Grant felt a jolt as his spiritual power surged in his mind. This also meant that Lazuli's level had reached Awakening Tier 4. There aren't enough demonic beasts here, Aster Grant expressed a somewhat inhuman sentiment. However, for him, if there were more monsters, it's possible that both he and Lazuli could have been reaching Awakening Tier 5 by now. After all, for Lazuli now, eliminating these low-tier demonic beasts consumed virtually nothing. After dealing with the enemies, Lazuli shook her wings. Confirming her body hadn't been stained by enemy blood, then she slowly walked over to Aster Grant's side. Master, during the battle just now, I sensed there might be a big one in the east. If my perception is correct, it should be an Awakening Tier 5 demonic beast. Hearing this, Aster Grant immediately perked up. During the past 3 hours, he and Lazuli had not encountered a single Awakening Tier 5 demonic beast. Now, having finally seen one, let's go and take it down. An Awakening Tier 5 demonic beast will significantly boost Lazuli's level further. Guided by Lazuli, the two snuck over quietly. Indeed, it was an Awakening Tier 5 demonic beast, and its quality wasn't low. Bloodthirsty Tiger, Demonic. Talent, Excellent 9 star. Level, Awakening Tier 5. Power, 71. Constitution, 74. Spiritual, 52. Speed, 69. Skills, Blood Fury Bite, Fierce Tiger Pounce. Looking at this Awakening Tier 5 demonic beast of excellent quality, Aster Grant couldn't help but amaze. Compared to those elite-quality low-tier demonic beasts, this one's attributes were far superior. Moreover, due to the transformation, demonic beasts of the same level were generally stronger than tamed beasts. This is also one of the reasons why upgrading an alternate space is challenging. But as of now, facing this awakening Tier 5 demonic beast, Aster Grant's confidence did not wane. With Lazuli's attributes exceeding 100, facing this awakening Tier 5 demonic beast, it would take at most 2 strikes. As Aster Grant and Lazuli stealthily approached, they discovered that others had already reached this demonic beast before them. No, rather than saying someone beat them to it, it's more accurate to say this demonic beast found its prey. In the deep valley below, the bloodthirsty tiger was leading 3 awakening Tier 4 demonic beasts, pushing a 5-member squad into jeopardy. The strongest among this team was merely a Tier 3 beast tamer, and at this moment, everyone's face was ashen. Class leader? A team member looked tremblingly at the girl in the center of the group, his voice full of despair. Bianca Shelby bit her lower lip, her knuckles white from exertion. Facing a luxurious lineup of 1 Tier 5 and 3 Tier 4, escaping was a distant dream for this rookie team. The reason these demonic beasts hadn't slaughtered them yet was merely to enjoy the thrill of their prey's struggle. Listen, we might not make it out of this valley, but even if we die, we need to take a piece of them with us. Focus all tamed beasts and attack that Tier 4 demonic beast on the left. Even if we can't kill it, we must severely wound it. Understood. The 4 gritted their teeth, their voices tinged with the fear of death. And the bloodthirsty tiger's scarlet tongue licked his fangs, seemingly bored with this cat-and-mouse game. Roar! With a deafening roar, the 4 demonic beasts simultaneously launched an attack. In the shrill sound of claws tearing through the air, Bianca Shelby could almost smell the stench of blood. Death was nigh. Seeing the scene, Aster Grant hesitated no longer, immediately commanding Lazuli to strike. After all, he needed the experience points from these demonic beasts for himself. Lazuli, activate the blazing angel form. In this critical moment, only Lazuli's doubled attributes in the blazing angel form could control the situation. And as soon as Lazuli received Aster Grant's command, she released the shackles on her body. In an instant, the world changed colors.
Chapter 8. S-Level Potential Student. The crimson holy flame suddenly erupted, evaporating the gray mist within a 100-meter radius, causing even the air to twist and distort from the heat. In Aster Grant's awe-struck eyes, a breathtaking figure slowly rose from the flames. 4 wings aflame with holy flame fully spread out, each feather shimmering with radiant golden divine patterns. Lazuli's once clear eyes had transformed into burning golden vertical pupils, like the flame empress who stepped out from myth. Under this divine oppression, the air throughout the entire valley seemed to freeze. Woo! 3 Tier 4 demonic beasts let out mournful whimpers, burying their heads deep into the soil in terror. Even the bloodthirsty tiger, an awakening Tier 5, was no better under Lazuli's pressure. Its pouncing movement abruptly halted, and its massive body eerily suspended mid-air. Its crimson beastly eyes contracted intensely, reflecting a silhouette that made its soul tremble. Leader, is this Beast Bond? The youngest member of the team murmured, his voice trembling. Bianca Shelby subconsciously clenched her hands, her knuckles turning white from the force. She opened her mouth, her throat dry and sore. It should be. Despite that, even she couldn't accept such an explanation. But in the novice trial space, there were only them, novice beast tamers and magical beasts. The divine figure was evidently not the latter. That left only the entirely ridiculous possibility. She was a beast bond. A novice beast tamer's beast bond. Under everyone's astonished gaze, Lazuli's golden vertical pupils coldly swept over the group of magical beasts lying prostrate. The holy sword in her hand casually swung. 3 crimson sword beams sliced through the void, slicing the 3 awakening Tier 4 demonic beasts into 2 halves before they could even wail. Sacred flames ignited at the cut, instantly reducing the remaining bodies to ash. Roar. The bloodthirsty tiger let out a desperate roar, unleashing its final ferocity. Lazuli merely lifted her sword lightly. Swoosh! The trajectory of the holy sword left a scorching afterimage in the air. The bloodthirsty tiger's proud, hardened body was like paper before the power of the legendary level beast bond. Its pupils remained frozen in terror, yet its body slowly slid along a smooth incision. Bzzz. A basketball-size azure light cluster rose from the bloodthirsty tiger's remnants, slowly merging into Lazuli's brow. As the last trace of holy flame dissipated in the air, the golden divine patterns around her receded like a tide, and the 4 burning wings transformed into flickering stardust. The figure that had been suspended midair gently descended, although her steps were clearly somewhat unsteady. Even though the blazing angel form greatly increased her attributes, the consumption was extremely terrifying. At Lazuli's awakening Tier 4 level, with all her might, she could only maintain it for about 30 seconds. After confirming there was no danger, Lazuli slightly turned her head, her gaze shifting to a nearby shadowy area. Bianca Shelby and the others inadvertently held their breath, their eyes moving in sync with Lazuli's. What kind of person would own such a powerful beast bond? But when the familiar silhouette emerged from the shadows, everyone froze. Aster Grant? Bianca Shelby's pupils contracted sharply, her voice involuntarily rising several octaves. As the leader of Beast Bond Class 3, she naturally recognized this classmate who usually kept a low profile. Not long ago, she heard this classmate had his Beast Bond taken, which made her indignant at the time. But now? Bianca Shelby's gaze shifted back and forth between Aster Grant and Lazuli, her brain nearly ceasing to function. As Aster Grant approached, it was only then Lazuli saved a few acquaintances. Oh, leader, what a coincidence! Coincidence. Bianca Shelby's mechanical response. A student renowned for staying inconspicuous, now standing beside a legendary level beast bond capable of slaying Tier 5 magical beasts in seconds. The dissonance was so strong it made her temples throb. Aster Grant politely nodded before gesturing for Lazuli to leave. The remaining time was less than half an hour. He had to seize this final opportunity to elevate Lazuli's level to awakening Tier 5. Lazuli obediently followed, not forgetting to bow slightly to the group before departing. This gesture made the squad members collectively gasp. As soon as Aster Grant's silhouette disappeared into the mist, the squad immediately exploded in discussion. Whoa! Leader, did you see? When that beast bond bowed, I nearly kneeled. Wasn't Aster Grant's beast bond taken? Why does he seem even stronger now? Honestly, I feel the epic level beast bond Mason Cheney took can't compare to this one at all. Well, what if we encounter Aster Grant during the assessment in 10 days? Just surrender. All 5 spoke in unison. City Lord's Manor. Sean Sermon stood respectfully to the side, his gaze slightly anxious. In front of him, a middle-aged man dressed in a navy Zhongshan suit stood with hands behind his back. Though the man's mouth held a faint smile, an invisible pressure enveloped the entire hall. He was the leader of the Southern Military Region, the real head, Abel Vance. Mr. Chief Vance, why did you come personally? Abel Vance turned, his gaze lingered on Sean Sermon for a moment. This soldier who once weathered hardships under his command had now become a city lord. Just came over from Silas. They have an A-level potential candidate this year. Not bad. Though he said that, Sean Sermon keenly noticed a flicker of disappointment in Abel Vance's eyes as he spoke. As the highest authority in the Southern Military Region, Abel Vance clearly came to inspect each city to seek truly top-tier talent. Evidently,
he had not found none. Chief Vance, the situation in Lithos this year is likely similar to Silas. Before the trial began, he had ordered a thorough review of all participants' data. Aside from Mason Cheney contracting an epic-level succubus, the beast-bond talents of others were unspeakable. Abel Vance sighed lightly, unable to conceal disappointment in his brows. Forget it. The summoning of beast bonds ultimately depends on fate and cannot be forced. He adjusted his lapel. I'll go check out other cities. Let me see you off. Sean Sermon was about to offer, but the city lord's assistant stumbled in. What a breach of decorum! Sean Sermon felt embarrassed in front of his old superior. How have you been taught? Keep calm when facing matters. The assistant only now noticed the distinguished figure in the hall, cold sweat breaking out. But he couldn't care much, his voice trembling with excitement. City Lord, our Lithos, a student with S-level potential has appeared. What? Sean Sermon's voice suddenly heightened, echoing through the quiet City Lord's manor. Even Abel Vance, who had a calm demeanor earlier, turned sharply, casting an astonished look.
Chapter 9. Potential Rating SSS. In the City Lord's manor, the air seemed to freeze for a moment. It's important to note that in the entire southern war zone, there are only dozens of geniuses rated S-level potential. And in a remote small town like Lithos, such a potential genius hasn't appeared for several years. Chief Vance, should we go have a look? Seeing Abel Vance clearly showing interest, Sean Sherman tentatively suggested. A sharp light flashed in Abel Vance's deep eyes as he adjusted the collar of his Zhongsan suit and said solemnly, "Let's go." The city lord's assistant dared not delay, naturally, and immediately bowed to lead the way in front. However, what they didn't know was that inside the monitoring room, chaos had already erupted. This can't be true. This score! Did he cheat? Why did the score increase so dramatically in an instant? Did he destroy a demonic beast hive? This score! Can a rookie beast tamer really achieve this? Could there be a malfunction with the equipment? Felix Hoffman was staring intently at the monitoring screen. The coffee cup in his hand had long tilted, with the brown liquid dripping onto his shiny leather shoes without him noticing. The eye-catching number on the screen seemed to pound on his heart like a heavy hammer. First place, Aster Grant, 25,000 points. Meanwhile, the second-place Mason Cheney was still lingering pitifully at 3,000 points. Even more suffocating was that Aster Grant's score was still climbing at an astonishing speed. The highest record in the past 10 years was only 3,500 points. Felix Hoffman murmured to himself, his Adam's apple unconsciously rolling. His gaze slowly shifted to the potential rating column, and his pupils suddenly contracted. Potential rating, SSS. The three gilded letters on the screen shimmered brilliantly, stinging the eyes painfully. In the trial space, Lazuli's snow-white wings were stained with the blood of demonic beasts, and the pile of corpses beneath her formed a small hill. The suffocating stench filled the air, and the viscous blood had even formed small streams on the ground. "Master, they've become smarter." Lazuli stood with her sword held horizontally, protecting Aster Grant behind her. Her breathing was slightly rapid, but the hand gripping the sword remained as steady as a rock. Aster Grant squinted his eyes towards the entrance of the valley. Dozens of different types of demonic beasts had unprecedentedly formed a coalition, snarlingly blocking all escape routes. Although most were merely Tier 2 or Tier 3 low-tier demonic beasts, the gathering of dozens of them was still overwhelmingly imposing. "It seems they've become afraid of us." In the past half hour, he and Lazuli had almost insanely slaughtered.
In the end, the remaining demonic beasts had no choice but to join forces and lure the two of them into this valley. Aster Grant raised his hand to look at the timer. Remaining time, 03:00. There were only 3 minutes left. Just right. Now we don't have to search for them, Lazuli. Understood. Through this period of battle, the tacit understanding between the two had rapidly increased. Now, without needing Aster Grant to speak, Lazuli could already gauge Aster's thoughts. Blazing angel form. Release! Gold patterns instantly crawled over Lazuli's entire body. 4 dazzling light wings burst out. Judgment! The blinding white light swept through the valley like a tide, and the wails of the demonic beasts rose up one after another where it passed. As the head of the last Tier 5 demon wolf flew high, a dazzling golden light suddenly erupted around Lazuli. Awakening Tier 5 achieved. Beside her, Aster Grant immediately checked Lazuli's various attributes. Divine Angel, Lazuli. Talent, Legendary 1 star. Level, Awakening Tier 5. Power, 148. Constitution, 150. Spiritual, 142. Speed, 153. Skills, Judgment, increased damage to Demon Clan. Divine Protection, immune to 1 fatal attack. Blazing Angel form, all attributes increased by 200%. Song of the End, Angel enters a sleeping period after use. Cultivation suggestions, use Light Crystal, Holy Spirit Marrow Liquid, and Angel Sacred Blood to enhance Beast Bond talent. The terrifying aspects of a little angel's legendary level talent were now finally beginning to show. Even though the level was merely Awakening Tier 5, Lazuli's various attribute values already crushed ordinary Awakening Tier 7 or 8 Beast Bond. Aster Grant gazed at the Cultivation Suggestions section on the system interface. He had a premonition that as long as he found the Light Crystal, Holy Spirit Marrow Liquid, and Angel Sacred Blood, Lazuli's talent would undergo a leap in enhancement. But only. The largest Beast Bond trading house in Lythos didn't even have information on these 3 materials. Aster Grant shook his head with a bitter smile. He had previously researched the information. At the top auctions in Draconia, a partially incomplete light crystal had fetched a sky-high price of millions. And the light crystal Lazuli needed required a complete whole. As for the Holy Spirit Marrow Liquid and Angel Sacred Blood, even in the chronicles of the Beast Bond General Association of Draconia, there were only vague records. Cultivating a legendary-level talent is indeed not something ordinary people can achieve. Aster Grant let out a soft sigh. Even with a golden finger, clearly knowing the evolution path, he could only sigh looking at the vast ocean. Nonetheless, Aster Grant wasn't troubled. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. One day he would surely collect all the materials and complete Lazuli's initial cultivation. At this moment, Lazuli's raging energy finally calmed down. She instinctively wanted to get closer to Aster Grant, but froze at the moment of stepping. Her snow-white wings were splattered with dark red bloodstains, and the hem of her skirt was dripping with viscous liquid. Ugh! The little angel wrinkled her delicate nose, looking at herself with disdain. With a soft hum, the crimson gold holy flame ignited from her fingertips, flowing like water over her body. The filthy bloodstains evaporated into blue smoke upon contact with the flame, not leaving a single trace. After confirming that each feather had returned to purity, Lazuli nodded with satisfaction and walked lightly to Aster Grant's side. "Master, should we leave now?" Lazuli gently tugged at Aster Grant's sleeve. Her small face slightly frowned as she looked around.
This valley soaked in blood certainly made one not want to linger. Aster Grant looked at the timer just as the digits hit 0. In the next moment, a solemn mechanical voice echoed throughout the trial space. This novice trial now concludes. Please prepare for extraction, everyone. In 10 seconds, everyone in this space will be teleported back to Lithos. Now starting the countdown. Hold on to me. Aster Grant naturally held Lazuli's small hand. 10, 9, then 3, 2, 1. The blinding white light swallowed the entire world. When Aster Grant opened his eyes, the familiar outline of Lithos's plaza lay before him. Before he could fully adjust to the dizziness following the teleportation, he found himself already surrounded by excited staff members. Felix Hoffman led the group, advancing quickly, and this usually stern trial director was now beaming with joy. Aster Grant, your performance in the novice trial was truly astounding. The city lord specifically requested to meet with you. Aster Grant was momentarily stunned, but quickly realized it was undoubtedly due to his performance in the novice trial space catching the city lord's attention. He had anticipated such an outcome earlier, so he didn't refuse. All right.
Chapter 10. Mason's Madness. When Aster Grant's figure disappeared at the far end of the plaza, the other participants were gradually teleported back. When Mason Cheney appeared in the middle of the plaza, holding the succubus, he was immediately surrounded by a crowd of sycophantic students. Young Master Cheney, this trial's first place is surely yours, right? An epic-level beast bond leaves everyone else in the dust. I guess young Master Cheney scored at least 3,000 points. Such a score would have been undisputed in previous years. 3,000 points? That potential evaluation must be close to S-level, right? We're witnessing history here. Mason Cheney listened to these flattery words, his mouth almost splitting to his ears. He hugged the succubus in his embrace tighter, his fingers restlessly stroking her waist. Originally in Lithos, he had always been synonymous with a hedonistic playboy. But ever since contracting this epic-level tamed beast, he had not only shed the name of a hedonistic wastrel, but also received praise wherever he went. Thinking of this, he felt even more satisfied with the succubus in his arms. Charm, I'll reward you well tonight and take you to the alternate space to level up tomorrow. On hearing this, the succubus blushed deeply, her long lashes trembling as they lowered. I'll do as Mason says. This coy and hesitant appearance made Mason simmer with heat, wishing to take her home immediately. But looking at the yet-to-be-announced points board, he forced himself to suppress his impulse. After all, this was his moment of glory under the spotlight. How could he miss it? To know, for this trial, Mason Cheney had spared no effort. Not only did he rely on the power of the succubus, but he also secretly spent heavily to hire a 5-person team. This team was specifically tasked with severely wounding demonic beasts until they were near death, after which he delivered the final blow. At this moment, Mason Cheney felt the power of awakening Tier 4 coursing through him and couldn't help but curl his lips with satisfaction. Although this method was considered unsavory, it proved highly effective. Not only did his level soar, but his points also rose accordingly. Look, the leaderboard has been published! An exclamation, the entire plaza erupted in excitement. Everyone's gaze immediately focused on the large screen at the center of the plaza. The leaderboard slowly appeared, starting from the last place. Rank 187, Wyatt Shaw, 85 points, potential evaluation D. Rank 163, Nina Lawson, 112 points, potential evaluation D. Occasional cheers and sighs emerged from the crowd. When the board scrolled to the top 10, the atmosphere in the plaza grew tense.
The top 10 were announced differently, each name pausing independently, accompanied by special sound effects. 10th place, Howard King, 890 points, potential evaluation B. 9th place, Flora Langley, 902 points, potential evaluation B. In the plaza's center, Mason Cheney smugly held the succubus, his face adorned with a confident smile. Nearby, the flattering praises came one after another. Young Master Cheney is sure to keep the top spot this time. Nonsense! Who else besides young Master Cheney has the power to take the first place? Mason basked in the adulation of the crowd, casually twirling the succubus's hair around his finger, already envisioning the scene of receiving the city lord's commendation. However, did I see it wrong? Why is young Master Cheney's name in second place? This voice was like a bolt of lightning, instantly shattering his dream. He turned abruptly, staring intently at the blinding figures on the screen. Second place, Mason Cheney, 4,100 points. Potential evaluation, A. This is impossible. Mason's expression contorted, his voice distorted. Second place? How could he be second place? 4,100 points. Such a score had already made history in Lithos. How could he still be second? Mason's eyes turned scarlet, staring intently at the large screen. Who? Who stole my first place? The succubus in Mason's arms was equally stiff. She had been focusing on the leaderboard, aiming to check the ranking of the former master she had abandoned. Just yet, from the last place to the second, she had failed to find that familiar name. This situation made her heart sink. The next moment, a terrifying speculation plunged her into an ice pit. Could Aster Grant be the first? The succubus immediately shook her head, trying to dismiss this absurd possibility. Impossible. Definitely impossible. The creature that person contracted was just a crippled angel. How could she lose to such a defective product? Yet, often what one fears most is exactly how things develop. Under everyone's watchful eyes, the first place was gradually revealed. First place, Aster Grant, 44,300 points. Potential evaluation, S. As this rank was unveiled, it was as if a bomb had been dropped on the entire plaza. My God! Aster's score is 44,003 units, tens, hundreds, thousands. It's indeed 5 digits. SSS level potential? This is like a human cheat code. Amidst the rising chorus of exclamations, Mason was left standing in shock, as if struck by lightning. He stared fixedly at those two numbers, 44,300 versus 4,100, a gap of tenfold. How could this be? Mason's eyes were bloodshot, his hand gripping a staff member's shoulder so tightly it made his veins bulge. Cheating! This is absolutely cheating! His voice was hoarse, like sandpaper rubbing together. 40,000 points? What a joke! The staff member calmly pushed his hand away, his voice eerily composed. This result has been personally verified by the city lord. Young master, are you questioning the city lord's judgment? This sentence poured over him like a bucket of icy water. He stumbled back, a buzzing in his ears. The gazes around him felt like countless sharp knives, making his whole body tremble. He suddenly started laughing maniacally, his nails digging deep into his palms. I get it. That poor boy must have taken the 20 million my father gave him to hire people to farm points. At this moment, Mason had lost all rationality, his handsome features twisted into near grotesque, his temple veins pulsating with his rapid breaths. Thinking of that poor kid he once trampled under his feet, using the Cheney family's charity of 20 million to turn around and humiliate him. The fury in his chest threatened to consume him whole. "Aster Grant, you think using my family's money you can beat me?" He abruptly grabbed the succubus's wrist with such force it almost crushed her delicate bones. The succubus groaned in pain, but dared not resist, only being able to stumble along as he dragged her. "Now, immediately, I will hire the top demon hunting squad. 10 squads are not enough, then 20. At the academy exam in 10 days, I want that worthless person kneeling in front of me, begging for mercy." His voice echoed across the plaza, attracting numerous astonished glances. But at this moment, Mason no longer cared about his image, with only one thought left in his mind. At all costs, he would utterly crush Aster Grant. The succubus was dragged roughly as they walked forward, yet at the turn of a moment, she caught a glimpse of that shining name on the plaza's screen. Aster Grant. S. A thought suddenly surfaced in her mind. Was her choice back then truly right?